Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, we have a really long one for you, but it's going to be very exciting. We're doing a tier list, and we're doing starting pitchers. Now, looking at this list, there is 2 from every team, I believe, and I think they did the 2 best. I mean, some of these you could argue, but I think it's a really good job. So we're going to get right into it. So we're going to start off with the Arizona Diamondbacks and Zach Gallen. And I'm going to put Zach Gallen in the good category. He has, I think, a 5-2 record. He's pitching really well this year. I don't know. I mean, there might not be any below averages in this. But I think Zach Gallen's probably one of the most underrated players in the league. And that is actually true. Mad Bum is probably average. You could even make an argument for below average. He's just not as good anymore as he was. He still can pitch a dominant outing, but he's losing way too many games. And yes, he is with Arizona, but then you make the argument Zach Gallen is 5-2 with Arizona, and Mad Bum's like, I don't even know at this point, but he does have a pretty bad record. So for the Braves, we're going to have Max Fried. And Max Fried, for me, is going to go in the All-Star category. First of the All-Star category here. I mean, that's just kind of what I think personally. I think he's just a really good pitcher. His curveball's nasty, and then obviously his fastball's good and stuff. Ian Anderson, I heard he had a perfect game and like going into the 5 innings. But I'm gonna go in the average category. He's not that great. He's having a pretty bad year besides last night, and he has had a few good outings, but not pitching amazing. Next, we had John Means. This looked a little bit like Adley Rutschman to me. Let me know what you think. This looks exactly like Adley Rutschman. John Means we're going to put in the good category. I really do think if he pitched and he was healthy this year that he would just do really well. And then Jordan Lyles, we're going to put in the average category. I think Jordan Lyles is actually having a good season, but I do still think he's in the average category. Chris Sale, I'm also going to put in the good category. Again, he's just had too good of a career. I mean, he's having a bad year, but he's had too good of a career to put him below good. Nathan Evaldi is also going in that good category. Bad start against Toronto, against the Blue Jays. Other than that, he's been their best pitcher this year by far. Well, honestly, Nick Pivetta has been very good. You can make an argument for that, but I'm going to go Evaldi in the good category. Moving on to the Cubs, Marcus Stroman, I'm going to go to the average category. I just don't think Marcus Stroman's amazing. I mean, he was pretty decent with the Mets. He's just not that great with the Cubs, and the Cubs aren't a great team, which doesn't help. Kyle Hendricks, I'm going to go in the good category. Yeah, last year, remember, he was the wins leader for most of the season until Julio Urias, I think, had the most wins in the year. He's not even on this list because it's Walker Bueller and Clayton Kershaw. Luis Castillo is all-star. He is unbelievable. Just got traded to the Mariners about a day or two ago now, but still, he's going to be amazing with the Mariners. I don't know when he makes his first start. Probably in a few days because, he's with a new team. He's got a Hunter Green. I'm going to go the average category. He's young, strikes out a lot of batters, which is great because he has that 100-mile-per-hour fastball. But then there's the bad side where he does give up a ton of runs. So he's going to try. I guess he'll clean that up. Shane Bieber, we're going to go to the good category. He wasn't an all-star. I think he maybe is close to that all-star kind of thing. Zach Plesac, we're going to go the average category. He's pretty underrated. Again, Cleveland, I don't pay too much attention to their team. But, I mean, Zach Plesac isn't bad. So, Herman Marquez, we're actually kind of flying through this, I'd say. Herman Marquez, I'm going to go in below average. I don't know if Herman Marquez is that great. There's a few on here I could go below average, don't worry. But I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's gonna maybe get traded. He pitched well last year. This year's just not good at all, really. Kyle Freeland, I'm gonna go good. I really like Kyle Freeland. He strikes out a lot of batters. Does give up some runs, but I think he is probably the Rockies' best pitcher right now. We have Lance Lynn with the beard. Lance Lynn is going to go in the average category. Just lost to my Oakland A's the other night. I mean, he does have cutter and sinker, so he would be good and definitely in the show. He's still a good pitcher, but I'm gonna put him in the average category because the pitchers and good are way too good. I'm gonna put Lucas Giolito in the average category. He had that one really good season, and now he's not pitching as well. Eduardo Rodriguez hasn't pitched much this year. I'm gonna put him in the average category. Probably near the end, though, because I don't know. I mean, he was decent with Boston, but even with Boston, he was not that great. I'm sure with a team like Detroit, though, he'd be good. Tarek Skubal is good. He is very gross. He's very, very good. Strikes out a ton of batters. And playing for not a great team, he pitches very well. Justin Verlander, all-star category. Completely all-star category. I mean, there's nothing else to say. He's, 38 or 39, and he's still pitching unbelievable. Got one of the best records in the league. I think he's got like 13 wins, 14 wins. Framber Valdez did make the All-Star team, but I'm going to put him in the good category. I think he's very good, but I'm not sure if he deserved to make it to the All-Star game. Next, we have Zach Greinke. I'm going to put him in the average category. And this is basically off this year, mostly, except for, like, Chris Sale. This list is basically off this year and how they performed this year. And I don't think Zach Greinke has been very good this year. I'm going to put Brad Keller in below average as well. I'm just not sure about Brad Keller. He does pitch pretty well, but his record's always pretty bad, and he doesn't really strike out too many batters, I guess. I mean, next, is there an even all-star for Shohei? I think, honestly, he barely gets in the all-star category. But I think his record may not be amazing, but have you seen some of the performances where he strikes out like 13 and 7 scoreless? It's unbelievable. Then we have Noah Syndergaard, who might get traded as well. And I'm going to put him in the average category. He's one of the top trade targets, but I don't think he's been that good this year with the Angels. Next, we have Walker Bueller, who's an all-star, and Clayton Kershaw, who's an all-star. I think Clayton Kershaw barely sneaks in the all-star category. But again, he's been so good in his career, and I know I said I wouldn't do that, but like he's been so good in his career. I don't even know who to put superstar. I think I'm going to go for like Jacob Degrom and superstar. But there are some good pitchers on this list. Actually, I think I have an underrated pick in superstar, and that is going to be Sandy Alcantara, however you say it. Sandy is amazing. Pitched in the All-Star game. He's just unbelievable. Strikes out so many batters, and the thing that he does that I don't think any other pitcher does in the league better than him is he gets through so many innings. He's like 7 innings. In one game, I think he let up like 4 runs, and he still pitched like 8 innings. Like, unbelievable stuff from Sandy. Pablo Lopez will be in the bottom of that good category. He's pitched well this year. He had a bad start the other night, but he's just pitching well. Corbin Burns is all-star, near the superstar. He won the Cy Young last year, made the all-star team again this year, and is always near the top of that Cy Young race. Maybe not this year as much, but he's still so good. Brandon Woodruff, I think, might be overrated. That might be a hot topic. I think he goes at the bottom of the good category. I think he's a good pitcher, but I do think maybe he's a little overhyped. I'm not sure. That might be a really bad take. Oh, sorry, I'm messing up. Next, we have Joe Ryan. This is one of the pitchers at the first when I looked at this tier list. I'm like, who's that? Okay, but I think it's Joe Ryan. I think that's the name. I'm going to put him in the average category. He's underrated. His record's like 7-4. He let up 10 runs the other night, but other than that, he's been lights out this year for Minnesota. And Minnesota might be the most underrated team in the league. I think no one pays attention to him. And I think, to be honest, they might be able to make a move on Frankie Montas at the deadline. Or maybe get a guy like Paul Blackburn. There's other pitching options out there, but I'm saying, like, Oakland does have guys that the Twins could use. in their rotation. Even though their rotation isn't awful, but they definitely need some work in that rotation. And that is Sonny Gray, the former Oakland A, former Yankee, former Red. He's played for a few different teams now. He's going to go in the average category. Again, he's decent, you know. Jacob Degrom. Oh, sorry, I'm moving Brad Keller. Sorry, Brad. Okay, Jacob Degrom. Welcome to the All-Star category. He's so good, and he's so good in MLB The Show. And that MLB The Show doesn't matter in this, but I'm just saying he's good in MLB The Show and in real life. He's currently... The only reason that I'm not putting him in Superstar is, in my eyes, I think he gets hurt way too much. But he throws 100. I mean, he's just unbelievable. And that is Max Scherzer, is also another unbelievable player. I'm going to put him in the All-Star category, and we are filling up that All-Star category and that good category in the average. Garrett Cole, another guy that is in that All-Star category, but I'm going to put him at the end. Does give up a lot of runs, strikes out a ton. He either has 7 innings, no earned, 10 strikeouts, or he has 3.2 innings, 5 earned, 2 strikeouts, and just doesn't pitch well. So it's kind of interesting. Nestor Cortez, I'm going to put in the good category. He did make the All-Star team, and he did this like fancy move in the All-Star game, which I've been doing outside, which is pretty cool. So shout out to Nestor Cortez. But I'm going to put him in the good category. I think he's a really good pitcher. I heard someone saying the Yankees are going to try and trade him to get Juan Soto. I think that's a bad idea. I think that they got Benintendi, and I don't think they should get Juan Soto. I think they should keep Nestor Cortez. But if they gave Oakland Nestor Cortez and like a first and maybe like a little prospect for Montas, that would be an amazing trade. And there's Frankie Montas, who I'm also going to put in the good category. His record's bad, but you have to remember he's playing with the A's, who are not good this year. And there's a ton of trade value with Frankie Montas. He's so good. And that's Paul Blackburn's going to be right next to him. He made the All-Star team. He's pitching well this year. He's came out of nowhere on a guy who really hasn't, hasn't pitched well ever. But this year he's came out of nowhere. His curveball is really good. And I'm almost so close to superfractoring him in MLB The Show. Let me know if you want to see MLB The Show down below. I can't really edit videos for the show. I guess I could try. But I could probably post videos if maybe some gameplay of my team. But yeah, Zach Wheeler, we're going to put in that good category. I think he was snubbed on the All-Star team. I think a lot of people were saying he was snubbed. I don't know. I think there was pitchers maybe that deserved it more. Maybe he could have filled in for I don't even know, to be honest, who he could have filled in. Maybe like a guy like Max Fried, you could make an argument, but... And Aaron Nola's in the good category right there near the bottom next to Brandon Woodruff. Jose Quintana, average. He's underrated. He needs to get traded. The Pirates should be able to get a few prospects out of him. I think that he is a good pitcher. I think he's a little underrated. I'm going to put him in the average category. This is Zach Thompson, I believe. I have no idea why he's on here because I think JT Brubaker's solid for the Pirates. I'm going to put him in below average. He's just not that great. Never really has many good starts. We're going to go Joe Musgrove in the All-Star category. Joe Musgrove is starting to struggle a little bit, but he was like 8-0 to start the year. I'm like, oh, this guy's in front of the Cy Young race. Now he's definitely fallen. Yu Darvish, I'm going to go to the average category. No, good. Yu Darvish has been bad, somewhat bad this year, kind of. He strikes out a lot of batters, yes, but he's just not doing that well. Not as good as, he has been with the Padres. Because I think Joe Musgrove is honestly their best pitcher right now. And then we have Robbie Ray, who's also going to go in that good category. He's weird because he won the Cy Young last year and he pitched so well, and now he's not pitching that well. He's starting to regress a little bit, but he still strikes out a ton of batters. he's just always getting a decision. He's never getting no decisions. He's got like an 8-8 record or something. I'm probably way off on that, but Logan Gilbert, I'm going to go in the good category. Logan Gilbert's so underrated. He's like Zach Gallen. Him and Zach Gallen, probably two of the most underrated pitchers in the league, if not the most underrated pitchers. Logan Webb is also in the good category. He's a solid pitcher. And so is Carlos Rodon. But Carlos Rodon is on another level. Carlos Rodon is actually right there in the All-Star category. Right in front of Max Fried. He strikes out a lot of batters. Pitches very good outings, usually 7 innings. If he wins the game, it's just very good. Jack Flaherty is way too injury prone. I'm going to put him at the top of the average category. He's just getting hurt a lot. He's been hurt, I think, all year. And Adam Wainwright is good. Oh, my goodness, he's good. He didn't make the All-Star team, and I don't think he's going to be in that All-Star category with all those other guys. But boy, oh boy, is Adam Wainwright good. I'm also going to make a move and switch Bueller and Ohtani in front of Fried. And also Joe Musgrove will go in front of Fried. And so will Garrett Cole. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge tier list. Tyler Glasnow, man. I'm going to put Tyler Glasnow in good. He does strike out a lot of batters, but he gets hurt a lot, and he's just never pitching. I want to see Tyler Glasnow pitch. He throws 100 fastball. He's so fun to watch, but he just seems to be always hurt. And here it is, another superstar. Shane McClanahan is so underrated. It's crazy. I'm so glad that the manager for the AL, Dusty Baker, pitched McClanahan, although he did let up 2 earned in the All-Star game, which isn't ideal because those are the only 2 runs anyone gave up for the AL in that win. But superstar Shane McClanahan is definitely up there. And Martine Perez is another one of those guys who is crazy underrated. And he's definitely going to the All-Star category. He's going to go like right in the middle there. Doesn't strike out too many batters, but he gets outs. He gets through innings. He's great. And John Gray is average. I don't know. They did give a lot of money to John Gray in a trade. But I'm going to put John Gray there. And I'm going to put Kevin Gaussman in the All-Star category. I think he should have been an All-Star. Does strike out a ton of batters. His record's weird because it's not amazing. Kevin Gaussman, you definitely belong in that All-Star category. And Jose Barrios, I think, is a little... They were expecting him to be so good this year, and he just hasn't been too great. I don't know. Next, we have Steven Strasberg is average, and this is just injuries. He's just getting hurt. It feels like he hasn't pitched since they won the World Series, and he dominated in the World Series. And lastly, we have Patrick Corbin, who I heard might get traded, but there's no trade value for Patrick Corbin anymore. I've heard a lot of people say that he's batting practice. He's not pitching well this year. He's just not. Washington is paying him a ton of money, and I'm going to put him in the below average category. Probably in front of Thompson. I'm going to put Marquez and Keller at the top. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. This one was tough. There's a lot of pitchers that you can see here. Let me know.